Hey there friends and enemies, Joper here again, and Hoyoverse just teased the probable next two 5-star characters coming to Honkai Star Rail in version 1.1. We don't know the exact order of the banners, but I wanted to go over the next 3 likely banners and which characters you should pull for, depending on where your account stands. Now, I will say, as always, pull for the characters that you enjoy, the appearance of, the character dynamic, whatever you like about the characters. If that is your favorite, then pull for them, and don't worry, you will be fine with any of these 5 stars. However, if you are kind of judging where your account stands now and you want to figure out, maybe this character might be better for me personally, that's why I'm making this video. Now, first and foremost, we have Jing Yuan. He is going to be available the back half of version 1.0, and he's going to be an AoE DPS character, really specializing in taking out multiple enemies at a time. Now, if you already have a bunch of DPS characters, or you think you're fine in the DPS department, this is a character that you might not want to pull for, but I do like the way he looks. I like his whole vibe, you know. We gotta see him a bit during the story. You also gotta play a little bit with Silverwolf and Luocha during the story as well. So that is going to kind of, I think, color whether you want to pull from them or not, because you already got the vibe of what they do. But as far as Jing Yuan goes, I'm really curious how he's going to play out. He is Erudition and Lightning. There are other lightning characters in the game you could use instead, like Serval. He's going to be probably a juiced up Serval, but if you have multiple Eidolons for Serval already, she might be someone that you can get by with for now. If you already have other AoE DPS characters that you like, you're probably going to be okay. Now, if you've already got all of your supports taken care of, but you're missing a DPS and you need an AoE DPS, especially because, remember, later on you're going to need 2 teams. So even if you already have Sealy, you're going to need another primary DPS, and depending on how it changes, like we know with Genshin Impact, Hoyoverse likes to change up the end game activity with different enemies. You might have single target bosses, but you might have big waves of enemies or bosses that summon a bunch of enemies. So because of that, you may want to consider him still, even if you do have a primary DPS already, but you need a second one. Me personally, I think I'm comfortable with Dan Heng as well as Sealy, because I do have those on my free-to-play account. So I probably won't pull for Jing Yuan, but I am also impatient, so I might as well. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting for me, and that's Luocha. Luocha is an interesting character because he's like more defensive and healing character, but he is going to be an offensive healer, if that makes sense. So he does have a shield, but unlike Japald, he's not going to be just primary defense. He is going to be able to heal you. My thing is, for me and my account, I do have the Fire Trailblazer. I also have Bailu, and I have Eidolon 6 Natasha. So because of that, I'm not really looking for healers or support characters at this time. And there is a good chance I could pull Japald from the main banner, or I could pull in more Bailus, Eidolons, and just buff her up a lot. So because of that, I'm not really sure if that's a character that'll fit for me. However, if you are short a support healer character, this would be a perfect opportunity, because you'll be guaranteed, if you hit pity and you've already lost your 50-50, to get Luocha. So this might be a character a lot of people are really pulling for, because there's not a lot of healers in the game right now, and you might want to maximize that. You can get through a lot of the content with Japald as a defensive support without needing a healer necessarily, but if you don't have Bailu, if you don't have Japald, that might be the perfect character actually for you to pull for, and that's something to keep in mind. And that's why I always say it depends on where your account stands. Too many people are like, well, this is the best character in the game, when in reality, it might depend on how much of an impact it'll have on your specific account. If you have no healers and Eidolon 0 Natasha, you're going to be struggling a lot more with your healing, especially towards the end game. And you're going to need 2 healer / defensive characters as well. So for that reason, that's why Luocha might be a big benefit for a lot of people. Although, again, if he's not your vibe, if you're not really feeling him, then don't pull for him, obviously. But I think he's a character that a lot of people will want to snag, especially if you haven't been fortunate enough to get Japald or Bailu, or if you want 2 5-star excellent defensive support, heal supports, etc. So that's where I think Luocha stands, and then we finally come to Silver. This is probably the one that I'm most looking forward to. The reason being, I already have, like I said, I have Bailu, I have C6 Natasha, I have some single target DPSs, which I really enjoy, and Dan Heng, who's built out with a 5-star light cone. I have Sealy as well. So of all the characters, the one that I think is going to be the main for me, and this is Silverwolf, is Nihility and Quantum. So Quantum is going to help out. Now, Silverwolf looks like she's going to be a perfect support character for Sealy as well. Whereas I already have my Dan Heng team built with like Welt and some other characters that I really enjoy. So because of that, this could work out perfectly, and I could actually have 2 really good teams that I enjoy that can do a ton of damage at any given time. So Silverwolf is probably the character that I'm going to pull for myself. But if you've already built your supporting characters, if you've already built out your 4 stars who are going to be pretty solid, going to support your main DPSs. Say you're missing a DPS or you're missing a healer, that's when you would want to pull for the previous 2, in my opinion, and those would be your main focus. Otherwise, I think Silverwolf is going to be probably the most versatile of all the characters to pull for if you are already in a good spot with your account, if you're comfortable with where your DPS characters are at, if you're comfortable where your healer/defense characters are at. So I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited. She's also a character who I think her whole vibe is really, really cool. So for that reason, she's a genius hacker, which kind of seems funny in a game like this. And I think that's the one that I'm going to be focused on. Now, I'm personally very impatient. I might just wish as I get them and not really worry about saving, because I think ultimately you can't go wrong with any of these 3 characters. Some are going to be a little bit stronger or weaker than others, but if Genshin Impact and these other and the beginning of Honkai Star Rail are any indication, you can build great teams with all sorts of different characters. You're going to be able to do a ton of damage, beat a lot of content. There are some teams, if you're min-maxing, that are going to be better than others, but I think you should pull for who you want, who you think is going to vibe with your playstyle, your team composition, and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, I'm looking forward to all these different characters, and I hope you have good luck with your warps and that you get the 5-star that you want. Like I said, I just got Sealy recently. I haven't really even had much of a chance to use her, and I'm excited about the future of Honkai Star Rail and these new characters that are coming out. Anyway, I know I went on a little tangent there, but my name is Jopa. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you can. Subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. I'm trying to grow and move towards YouTube partner on this channel, so I appreciate all the support. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.